Good morning, everybody. I welcome everybody in this room for a workshop meeting of the Natural Resources Preservation Advisory Board. This is a workshop meeting. We only have 3 members present. One member, Karen Jones, had a medical emergency with her family, so unfortunately had to excuse herself literally at 11 o'clock. And then Kiki Baxter has a work meeting so she couldn't make it. So we're going to make it an efficient workshop meeting, just that we can discuss things, and then the next meeting would probably be after the summer, and when people are back, or whenever the town wants to schedule it.
Don't we have a scheduled meeting date? Was it the next meeting in August, I believe?
It's in August. Oh, September, yeah.
Oh, September. Okay. Thank you.
So I'm calling the meeting to order. So sorry.
We can still
I'm
do.
trying to find the actual. Yeah, but I'm trying to find their actual paper. I had the one from last one. So basically, kindly silence your cell phones. The roll call, I give the word please to Mrs. Dehart.
So, Member Newman, Vice Chair Schreiber,
Here.
Chairperson Nessel.
Here.
Thank you.
Agenda item 3, Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for coming to the agenda item number 4, approval of the agenda. We cannot make that motion today, so I would just defer that to the next meeting. Public comments, that's agenda item 5. Public comments are now open. There is nobody here, so that agenda item will be closed as well. So we're moving to the agenda item number 6, presentations. Town Planner Allen, please update us. Thank you so much.
Very good. Good morning. So I did want to provide some updates based on some inquiries that were made at your last board meeting, which was on January 7th of 2026. The board had asked that for any future food truck events that you all wanted to have a more visible location for your booth, and you did not want to be in the corner, and you wanted to be near the food area. So I've provided an email to the town manager's office. They are the department that puts together all the food truck events, so they're aware of that, and they will try their best to accommodate those requests. The board had also asked for a QR code of your board webpage. You all had some laminated QR codes that were specifically for that beach restoration study that was done in 2023. So again, I advised the town manager's office that those QR codes, you would like those for future food truck events, and it's not going to be a problem to get those. 2 other items that were brought up. You wanted a list of the future food truck events for 2026. I did reach out to the town manager's office. They told me that right now they don't have any dates confirmed, but once the dates are confirmed, I will obviously advise the board, but there's no December date yet or anything like that. And you had also indicated at that January meeting that you want to make an annual event at the Delaware Sands regarding dune restoration. I did hear back from the town manager's office about this, and the town manager did agree to go ahead and do another event at the Delaware Sands in November of 2026. So I know we don't have a full quorum, but therefore you'd have to have someone on the board volunteer, reach out to Delaware Sands as the chair did this in 2025, choose a date, a menu item. We need an agreement that has to be signed by the town manager. So this is something that the board, should be discussing. Again, it will be hard today because you don't have a quorum, but at your next meeting.
Yes, I think what would be great if we could schedule that particular item, Mrs. Dehart, if we could put that one on the agenda for the next meeting.
Yeah.
My recommendation would be Kiki Baxter, because she's a marketing lady and she is an event manager, so she would be perfect to take on the role of organizing the event.
And also, if you remember, Kiki said she had I think it was 60 people on the wait list. So I don't know, the board, when you discuss this in the future,
Mhm.
maybe you want to consider just opening it up to those people rather than, if you open it up to the town, where I see the benefit of opening up to everybody to be fair, but you want new people to come. You don't want to have the
Yeah.
same people come once again. So there could be the discussion from the board on how you want to handle that, just to be mindful that she has a very long list of waitlisted people. So
Yes.
something to think about for the future.
I think that's an
Yeah.
amazing point, and
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, how you'll figure that out,
Yeah.
again, the board can discuss it. at the
Absolutely.
next
I think
meeting.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, and that's all I had as far as updates.
That sounds great. Thank you so much. So we can move to agenda item number 7, approval of minutes, which obviously we also cannot do, which would have to be deferred to the next meeting, probably in September. And these are all formalities, so we can still, it's actually good, that we having this meeting as a workshop meeting. Then we are going to the next agenda item number 8, unfinished business, review of marketing, educational and promotional materials. So this this would be referred to Member Baxter. First of all, we have a workshop meeting, so we can't make decisions anyway. And Member Baxter today is excused because she has another urgent, actually, business event for her job that she has to attend. So unfortunately, we have to defer this to the next meeting. And this will go hand in hand with the Delray Sands, because then we can, if the people from the wait list come, then obviously that's great and there's not much marketing to do. But if there is not enough attendance, then it's always good to have good marketing tools to create awareness for dune restoration and nature-related topics. So that was item number 8A, marketing educational materials. Item 8B, future dune restoration management related events. So here the first item is the beachfront condo associations. What I can report, I have to say, unfortunately, there is not a lot of progress. What I can report for Parker Highland is still continuing to restore the dunes. And dune restoration is not a process that finishes instantly. It's basically an ongoing process. And that brings me to the Delray Sands Resort. Delray Sands Resort had a perfect dune, I would say 4 or 5 years ago. They restored it. They had all the right plants, but they didn't manage it. I don't know how well it was done at the time, obviously, but they still had Brazilian pepper and other invasive species in there, which are now totally overgrowing the dune. So when I have lunch there or dinner, I can see mainly the invasives. It looks beautiful. They take really good care of it. So the guests are happy. The people think it's a beautiful dune, but it's very unhealthy. So I have reached out to the manager who was the manager of the event. They're super busy at season. So we've deferred this to end of season, which is pretty much now. So which would also be something that I would be taking care of. I would be contacting the Delray Sands, and just to make sure that we're getting a meeting or a call with the management. I was referred actually to the management, to the CEO or the general manager of the hotel, and maybe get a call with him in the slower season. And that could also then be linked to Kiki Baxter's efforts, if she agrees to do it, for the November event. So that's the bigger items. Then there's a couple of other condos that are working on it. I'm not going through the list. A lot of them are aware. They're all on the spreadsheet. Some are really difficult to reach, like Ambassador East. I'm still working on them. I think it's just during the season, if you email or leave a message, it just goes under. These managers are so incredibly busy, and they promise you a call back, but then they don't. And I know it from our own manager. They're just super busy. You're here. Good morning.
We turned it into a workshop meeting, so we didn't have enough people when the meeting started, so we can't vote on anything.
Could we now fix this? It's only 14 minutes. Oh, really?
But if you want to.
So then I can actually go back and welcome our newest board member, Joseph Loeffler, which I did not do because you were not here. So I wasn't sure when I read it, I wasn't sure whether anything happened or, but that's good. So you took the wrong dates. That can happen.
We've already made the decision to move forward. So
We can't switch it back. Complicated rules in Highland Beach. But no, it's okay. So yeah, so basically we started the meeting. We just went through the usual formalities, and Town Planner Alan gave us an update, and we now have moved to the agenda item 8B, future dune restoration management related events, and we're discussing the Beachfront Condo Association. That's item 8B1. Where I just to summarize, said that I'm going to call Delray Sands, the resort, the hotel, to talk about the dune restoration that they're hopefully are doing, and also about an event that we're going to do again in November, which hopefully Kiki Baxter will organize. Because she's not here, obviously we can't make that decision. Other condos, what I realize when I'm calling them during the season, it's hopeless. Managers are incredibly busy. They're willing and they're wonderful, but they're just so busy that this is really not if they get a call from a person like me they never heard of or they don't know, it's much harder than if you know somebody who knows somebody who's on the board. So again, I think we can go through the list of the oceanfront condos. I think now is the time for the summer for all of you to really think, who do I know in the oceanfront condos or the condos that do have a private beach, and get to the board. I think once you have one board member, I saw it actually it's already in Boca Highland Club, for example. They have started their so-called dune restoration, but it's very sad. All they've done is put these pink flags to basically, it's good. At least people are not trampling through the dunes and putting their chairs there anymore. So that's good. But they haven't planted any sea oats, and it's such a big club, and they really have the funds, and it really doesn't cost much money. And they haven't done it. So that's another one where I can get active. Call Eve Rosen. She's the Bremer Isle president. She's my contact that I have. But if anybody has a contact at Boca Highland Club, please call them. Even if it's just residents, they should speak up at the board, at their board meetings, and bring it to the board, and then the board brings it to the manager. The managers, when I call them, they're just so busy. Yes, and then it goes forgotten. And it's not bad will, it's just they're so busy, they're literally struggling to keep their head above the water in the season. So I have my action items here, and I think what we can do is we can just go through the list and just make sure that we have a plan on who contacts whom. So 45 Ocean, that's the first one on the list. That is actually a great success story. They've done the planting session in January, and it was finished for the phase 1. And the plants, they had 30 students from high school. I think I reported that in the last meeting, 30 students from high school, bio charity, planting everything. They had a watering action, like they had to water it. They did actually grill events. The people came. It was really fun. And Dan Belante, the consultant who is helping with this, he actually made a video and he presented it. He presented it in one of the town events. We saw actually the dune restoration at 45 Ocean was on the video. That is 45 Ocean. So that's very south. That's used to be the 2 pink orangey towers. Now they're white. Yeah. So they have, the plants are doing well. And now we're just coming into turtle season, and we're hoping that the turtles are kind, because this wall is notorious for the turtles they like that wall for whatever reason. They really dig right at the wall. They usually have a lot of nests there. Yeah, well, they right in front of the wall. That's where now we have the plants. So let's hope that the turtle season will be kind. So that's 45 Ocean. Super success story. I'm very proud of John Cotula, who's the president, and the team there, the manager and the board. Ambassador East on my to-do list. Everything that's on the Boca Highland Club, like Bremer Isle, I'm gonna contact them. Then we have Casuarina and Clarendon. Does anybody know anyone there? Casuarina or Clarendon. Casuarina, yeah. It's at number 3450. Oh, you can just look it up on Google. I don't have the phone number. Yeah, I don't have the phone number. Then we have Highland Place. Highland Place, I think, is doing well. That's Chris. And they're contracted with Dan Belante, so that should be on its way. Chris is obviously no longer a member, but the good news is she's moving back to Highland Beach. So I can share a secret with you. So she might be back. Ocean Dunes is another one that she's covering. So that I think they're also ongoing, which is great. Then we have, does anybody know anybody in Villa Magna? No. That would be great if you could put that on your list. Villa Magna is pretty much at the beginning. Yeah, it has a big new sign. Yes. Yeah. If you're an attorney, you can sell well. I think it would be great if you can call Villa Magna. Yes, exactly. Sounds good.
We're bringing the class action. We're going to bring our class over and get some action.
That sounds great. That's actually really good. I like that. I think I like that. I think that's really good. I really like that. And we have the kids. You can. So that's Villa Magna. Yeah. And John Cotula is the president at 45 Ocean. He works with the charity, and maybe you can use the same kids. You can obviously.
What's the name of the title?
So John Cotula is the president of 45 Ocean. Yeah, the two orange, or used to be Orange Towers. So, and he has the contact with the charity and all these kids. So, and they're obviously, they like to have the work for community service hours. So they all. It would be just nice and see. Well, I'll leave this up to you. So that's then Trafalgar Karen is covering. So that's an action item for her. Then we have Villa Mare. Does anybody know anyone in Villa Mare? M-A-R-E? No. You want to call them? Yeah, you can just go and Google, actually on Google Earth, and then you can click on it. Use Villa and then Mare, like the sea, M-A-R-E. And then we have Villanova. That's that Karen. Karen knows somebody there, so that's covered. Then we have a couple of private homes that Karen and myself are watching. They're in our neighborhood. Unfortunately, they were restoring the dunes, and everything we talked about was not done. And actually, the dunes is done. The sand is there, and guess what they planted? Does anybody want to take a guess? Yes. Sea grapes. I cried when I saw it. I thought, like, you're actually bringing in sand. You're spending $100,000 and you're planting sea grapes. I couldn't believe my eyes. And I saw the contractor, like a regular landscaper from. There would be, I mean, but yeah.
The plants are already.
Yeah, they were planted, all done. The contractor left. Yes.
Don't they have to submit a document saying what they're going to do, what they're going to plant?
They need a permit, but if it depends on what's there. And this was a couple of years ago, but it depends on the inches. If you take down sea grapes only a few inches, I think if you go below 40 inches or something.
I don't remember the exact.
But it's roughly there. When you go below, then it's not maintenance. Then you need a permit. To be honest with them, what I remember, it was just a really awful dune with invasive species, and it was really not much to cut. They always kept it really short, and they pretty much just replaced it. And I think they brought sand in. I saw big trucks on the A1A side, but I'm not even sure what it was, so I couldn't even confirm that. But it definitely was an expensive project, because yeah. And then it was private. It's just one house that did that, and the other house. Is still work in progress in terms of the convincing. That is a very dire situation, and all they need is sea It's a couple of sea oats and, yeah.
So there was someone at the wine tasting that said they were gonna go ahead with one of those private houses, and they talked to, what was it, the gentleman, Dan?
Oh, to Dan, yeah.
Yeah, when they spoke with Dan, and they seemed pretty enthused about using him to coordinate that.
Yes, and I think that's always good if we take numbers. So when we have events in the future of those people, take numbers and follow up, because often we then talk and they're gone and we cannot contact them.
Okay.
And if they don't call Dan, then we have a problem. I mean,
Do you know the address of the home that you're referencing or no?
no, but I can walk by it again and let you know. But I don't want to be
Yeah.
a problem, you know. I don't know whether they have permits or not, you know, I
And
don't know.
it's an existing home. There was no construction of a new home. Is that correct? Or
No, it's, next time I didn't even look at the home itself. I mean, it's a villa, but it's not it's not a new construction.
Because we have some new homes on the beach and some of them.
Oh, it's not, no,
Oh,
it's not,
okay,
no, it's not a
okay,
new one.
okay.
I think it was in renovation, but honestly, I have to go back and check on that.
Okay.
But it's just like, it really is not about this specific home. It's more about in general. It's sad. And this brings me to the topic. I think we can work with the owners and the condos as much as we like. If we are successful and could convince them to plant sea oats, that's great. But we really need to get to the contractors. The contractors, the general contractors and the landscapers, they need to be educated. But they're not in Highland Beach. So I think this is above and beyond what we can do here. But this is really, I think, what needs to be done.
What about producing some sort of a handout with guidelines of what it would take to do a dune reservation? We could get that made out by Dan, and we could pass that out to people. That would at least tell them, you know, this is the approved way, or this is the best way to preserve the dune, and this is the.
We actually, if you go on our website, we have a lot of material. We have the Palm Beach County, like literally a flyer, which is
Yeah,
excellent.
but I'm talking about handouts.
Yeah, it's
Where
literally
would
like,
you hand them, on the beach?
Well, we hand them out to the director, to the
Oh, to-
boards, and they could bring it up at their meetings, or right to the buildings themselves. I don't know.
yeah. So we do have materials. We have longer materials from like the Penthouse Towers is a really good example where they totally restored the dunes. There's pages and pages on do's and don'ts and how they did it. We also have shorter papers.
I mean, if we were visiting, if you're going to visit some of the managers, that would be a good thing to be able to hand to them, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, absolutely. So I would say if you have time, because you're retired now officially, I think what would be great if you could work with Kiki to please review everything on the website that we
Okay,
have.
yeah, I'll do that,
Because
sure.
it's on our website. We have a lot of materials, and review it and come up with literally like a 1-pager or a 2-pager that is and Kiki has to help us draft because it's
Because
written out-
sometimes when you get something physical,
yeah.
it's a lot different than us going there and talking to them.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that would be great. If you could work with her on
well,
that and prepare that with her for the next meeting.
Okay, sure, I will do that.
But because a lot of it is already in existence, so you don't have
Right.
to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
Because
But
obviously
we
you're
have to
new.
print it.
Yeah, of course, yeah, yeah,
Okay. At least when someone goes to visit somebody, we'd have more than just, you know, we're here to produce a dune. And this is, but if we had something that shows the formation and the way it's done, the proper way to do
Yeah.
it, it might help even with the contractors.
yes, absolutely. So that's great if you could.
Okay.
Chair
Work on
Nessel, if I may make a suggestion, Mr. Loeffler, if you want to maybe come up with just like a rough draft, once you look at all the resources that we have on the natural resource page, and maybe come up with a rough draft.
Okay.
And then we could put it on the next agenda, so that way all the board members could kind of look at it. Kiki
Sure,
could give
I will-
her, you know,
Yes.
amazing comments on just the formatting and the aesthetics of it. And we
Okay.
could work
Something
through
simple
it like
too,
that.
you know, a couple
Yeah, and it
pages.
gets very simple. And
Yeah.
I would suggest 1 page, because, you know, there's something about that
Right.
1 page.
You're right.
Once you start flipping, you kind of lose people's attention. So
No, you're right.
that's just my suggestion.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think the 1-pager is a very good suggestion. The key message is really remove the invasives.
Right.
That's number one. And then you obviously decide what belongs where. You need Dan for that. But in general, remove invasives, plant sea oats on the bottom of your dunes. You can even keep the sea grapes. up there,
Right,
but the bottom, the toe has to be sea oats.
right.
And that's the only thing. And then you need to water them, and you obviously need a permit. And David Keekbush is our contact, and he's really great. You email him and you get the permit the next day. And it's not like a lengthy process.
Right, right.
So it's, yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of, it's literally those bullet points, and I can help you too.
Yeah, you know, I like,
But
yeah,
if you review the
take a handout
material,
would definitely help us.
you will see it's all there. It's just like
Right.
maybe we haven't gotten a one pager. We have the official documents from the Palm Beach County, which is like a leaflet, which is very good. And then we have our you'll see.
Okay.
I was gonna make a comment. In our condominium, noticed that a lot of the beach chairs that are left on the beach were right up against the dune. And so, I went through the process of moving them further away from the dune. And I did it 2 or 3 times. Eventually, they kind of caught on, and they kept the chairs away from the dune. And the sea grape and other things started just filling up the space. So it's something that we could encourage when we're talking to the condo, is for them to keep the chairs away from the dune. Assuming if they have chairs there, it's an easy thing to do. They just tell their staff, please don't, or their guests, please, and eventually they get the idea and the stuff just starts filling in.
But on the ocean side, you're limited to this. Right now, the seaweed is so, you talk about invasive. Oh my God, it's so big out there. That limited space that they have to use is.
It's true, that's true, but still, unless they're in a very narrow beach, and the tide's not coming up very much now because the weather's not too rough. So
Right,
it's, we've moved up, I think it's supposed to be 10 feet, is it 10 feet or 15 feet that the chairs are supposed to be apart from the
edge of the
vegetation.
dune.
It's like a law that the chairs are supposed, I think it's a law, that the chairs have to be this much distance, and some of the condos push them right up against it.
Yeah.
And I think you can educate them, doesn't cost them a penny. It's just a matter of doing it. And then if they, we could just take it on ourselves just to go around and just start moving the beach chairs away. Of course, we'll probably get arrested, but,
That may not be the best idea in the world.
oh, you can do it at your own condo. I did, and
Oh, yeah,
and they didn't say anything, and I didn't say anything, and I kept moving it. Actually, I did something to say something to the director, and then the staff stopped moving them back. I guess they want to make the beach wider, so they're going to push it right up against the dune. So it was an easy way to do it ourselves.
So in Boca Island Club, it was successful because we did talk to them, and at least now they have these little stakes, or whatever they're called, these little flags, and they don't put the chairs back there. So
Good.
that was it's already a success, but they haven't planted new COs yet so far. So, but yeah, it does help talk to the people and convince them, and then they talk to staff. But I think that's a good task to
Okay.
do for the next meeting,
Yeah,
and
we'll do
welcome.
that.
It's great that we have new energy and ideas. That's very good. And the last thing I wanted to say is really also maintaining the dune. As you said, the sea grapes, they grow and they overgrow, and then all the natives cannot really cannot grow. And so basically what you need is really also a maintenance program. So you keep, if you have sea grapes, you keep cutting them back. Ideally, you don't have any sea grapes, because then you don't have to cut them back and spend literally 10,000. If you have a big condo, it's 10, 20,000 a year just budgeted to cut the sea grapes. Once you have sea oats, that's it. You didn't need to do absolutely nothing for the next 30 years.
And what do you do with the people that make a living cutting back sea?
They have other jobs. There's plenty of other plants to cut, so I'm not worried about landscapers in Florida. Anyway, so I think that was the list. Does anybody know anyone in a condo, or maybe with you?
Well, Highland
that-
Towers, I know.
That would be great, but that is not on the list. Obviously, that list is just from a search, which ones
Right.
have ocean access.
Well, Highland Towers does.
That would be great. So if you could call whoever you know,
I would do that.
that would be great. And just be active. Sounds great. Then the next, does anybody have anything to report regarding the condos? Or shall we move to the next item, future events? Good. Vice President said yes, so we can move to future events, which is agenda item 8B2. Continued discussion on future events. So we already mentioned the hotel event in November. That's in the hotel.
The hotel.
The one here, yeah.
Latitudes.
Latitudes is the restaurants,
Yep.
or just the name is
Well, the Delray.
Delray Sands. Now, I knew
The restaurant's called that.
Latitudes, exactly. Delray Sands, yeah, exactly. So we're having that one in November. We're open for other ideas. We obviously will have food truck events that we're going to get the dates from Town Planner Alan as soon as we have them. So we're going to be present at all these food truck events with our stand. That's when it's good to have marketing materials to speak to people, go around. What I also did when I went to get the food and was standing in line, I was talking to people, but that needs a little bit of, if you have social anxiety, then you're not the right one. But we got a lot of people to our stand just by talking to them while we were waiting for the food. So that's always a great opportunity to for awareness, the food truck events. Anything else? Any other ideas?
I think last time we discussed that, we have food truck events, we had Delray Sands, and then thank you, and then the wine tasting. And I think that was,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the wine tasting, we're going to wrap up. And I think when we speak about the wine tasting, it goes into, we probably end up having another wine tasting because it was a really big success. So we can talk about that. So for now, are we, in terms of events, good that we're doing the Delray Sands hotel event in November, and then we're going to attend the food trucks. I think usually one is around October and the other one is usually just before Christmas, Hanukkah in December. I think that's pretty good. And then we can move to the next item, 8C, wrap up discussion on past library wine tasting event. So that event was in February, if I'm not mistaken. We had the last meeting in January. It was in February. So I have to give all the credit to member Jones, who unfortunately can't be here today. It was fantastic.
Yes, it was.
It was absolutely fantastic. It was really not just about wine. I was actually surprised. We had amazing food, absolutely most amazing wine, even though it's super expensive. I ordered 6 bottles, and now we're clients, so we keep ordering. Amazing wine from Italy. It was fantastic. The atmosphere was fantastic, and it really was good because people were asking questions. And we had long discussions, really long discussions in between the courses. We were heavily delayed, and I'm still apologizing for the late night for the staff, because I think the staff left around 9 or whenever, way after the official closing time of the library. We really had to kick people out.
Maybe
And say,
a little earlier.
this is not a bar, this is not a restaurant, this is a library, and the staff has to go home. They have children at home waiting. And it was fantastic. That's all I can say. And we could really use it to educate people because the atmosphere was so nice and welcoming that I would highly vote for doing the same thing, maybe with the same vendor. He's a local. He's keen to do events. That would be a Karen Jones item together with whoever.
We
wants
just did a wine tasting not that long ago in one of the restaurants.
Yes, and that's another one. This has nothing to do with this commission, but I happened to be there. And that new Boca Raton restaurant is fantastic. It's just over the bridge.
Yeah.
What is it called?
What's the name of it?
Not Casa Verde?
Casa Vera, Casa something.
Vera, something.
But because this is a town meeting, we can't really advertise for restaurants. So yeah, but it was a great event. The food was amazing, and the wine was again amazing. And Highland Beach people got together.
What was the total count of attendees?
There, it was a lot, I would say. I would guess maybe it was a room twice the size of this, and it was, I would guess maybe 60 people. 60, I would say, right? Were you there, right?
Yeah.
About 60.
The
Anything-
The Pomodoros.
They had, I believe it was 30 RSVPs, though. I don't know if there were some additional people that paid on the
Oh, no,
spot.
we're talking about the one.
Oh,
that-
okay. I was
You're
gonna
here,
say.
so yes, so basically
Yeah.
in the library, we had 30,
Yeah,
yeah, it was probably
Yeah.
30 to 40 residents, right?
I don't think it was up to 40. I know that Madison had the list. I think they may have been like 2 walk-ins because a lot of
Yes.
people had already pre-registered. They didn't prepay, but they pre-registered.
Right.
Maybe it was about 32,
Yeah.
maybe 1 or 2 here and there extra, but I'd have to double check with.
But it was good, and
Yeah.
it's just about
Yeah.
spreading the word. All these people will spread the word. So I think obviously we can't vote here, but I think from what I hear is we want to redo this. And I'm guessing again, February is probably a good time frame, just for big planning purposes. And then I would say we can give this item to Karen Jones and whoever wants to work with her.
Okay.
So that brings us to item 8D, dog waste stations. And I will hand over this with pleasure to Vice Chairperson Ken.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and thank you, Chair. So what I did is, I put together a basic packet of information. And, today it'll be just for discussion purposes. And we can have common feedback, right? Yeah, okay. So, basically there's a who, what, why, where, when, and how. In the who category, basically that, this is drafted for the board to discuss. And then, upon a future meetings, further discussions and vote, we would make a recommendation request for the town manager's review and then submittal to the town commission for possible approval. And as far as the what element, if you look at the sampling from Worldwide Janitors, there were actually, I was originally looking at another company that their pricing was similar to this Worldwide Janitors, and then the other company's pricing went up by about 30%. So when I was doing the numbers, it was coming out a lot more than what I had expected. So then I found the Worldwide Janitors actually had very reasonable pricing. These particular dog waste stations, 14 of them are actually not full waste stations. They're just the sign with the bag dispenser, and each bag dispenser holds 3 separate rolls of bags. In that, if one roll of bags is completed, you still have 2 rolls of bags, and it's easy for people to see that one roll needs to be replaced rather than the whole dispenser being empty. Some of the other units, they're just one exit for the bags, and then nobody knows whether they need to maintain adding additional rolls. So these particular ones are very easy to keep maintained. And the good thing is that the signs are recyclable plastic units, similar to the current benches and trash cans that are out there. And if you look at the map, this is pretty much, each page is kind of to the same scale. And it's page 1 starts on North Linton, right above. And then the pink dots are existing park benches, well, street benches, with the trash cans that are both recyclable, plastic, similar. And if you go through each page, page 2 is a good spread of 3 of them. Three sets, and then page 3 is 2. And then on page 4, if you notice, there's an orange dot in the middle, and that's kind of what I would call a dead zone. It was a far distance in a heavy condo section of the street, condo building section of the street, with without any trash can, park bench, or if we were to install these waste stations. So figured that would be a good location to add an additional station with a trash can, which would service also for small little trash in that area, since there's nothing there. And then you go to page 5, and similarly, on page 5, there was nothing. And there's 2 major condo buildings there. Condo communities, one with 3 very high towers, and the other one high tower, and then some smaller buildings.
Is that Toscana, this one?
That's Toscana,
That's-
correct.
There is no trash.
Yeah, there's
That is
nothing.
crazy.
Nothing, yeah, yeah. And then, you also have to wonder, people who are carrying a bag that they already picked up from their pet, if there's no trash,
Mhm.
they're walking quite a long ways
Right.
without any trash dispenser.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's a sanitary issue on top of everything else being a little uncomfortable, especially in a heated day.
Yes.
So those two locations, it'd be nice to add a full station, which will also give the additional trash receptacle opportunity. And then page 6 and 7 shows continuation, a nice spread of 3 on each page. And then on the last page is showing one of the existing park benches and trash cans, and where we could locate it conveniently next to each trash can. And you see that the trash cans already have lids, which is good, because that's where people are dispensing the dog waste anyways, is at these trash cans, so supplying the bag. One of the nice things is that the bags come 200 per roll, and you put 3 rolls in a dispenser. And there's a specifications on page, it says page 15. You can see that it has 3 dispensers out of 1 unit. And so that basically holds 600 bags. And they also have 100% compostable rolls. The bags are 100% compostable. So that also goes well with the natural resources. And the as far as as far as the maintaining of the units, they could, the trash bags dispensers, as well as the 2 units that have trash cans, can be conveniently maintained at the same time that the town staff service the existing trash cans. So there's really very minimal additional time or cost associated with maintenance there. And the units themselves, being recyclable plastic, should be pretty much maintenance free. The signs, there were different options for signs, and kind of went with the base one that they suggested is not really obtrusive with wording, but it's just a visual. And on the bag dispenser itself, it just has some basic wording. So there were some signs where it was kind of instructive, and found that this is more of a visual, easy tone to follow the actual. Let me see. It's actually in the Highland Beach Code of Ordinances under animals. So this, if we were to proceed forward to a recommendation, then it could fall under the existing Code of Ordinances without requiring any additional mandates. And as far as the pricing, we have,
How many stations were you recommend?
yeah, so existing locations that have the park benches and trash cans together, there's 14. So we'd have 14 of these stations that are just the post, the sign, and the dispenser next to those trash cans and park benches. And those are approximately $342 each, for a total of $4,788 for 14 of them. And then the enhanced units, the ones that have the small little trash cans attached to the same unit, those are approximately $533 each for 2 of them, as noted with the orange dots. And that's a total of 1,066. And then each unit that I mentioned of the 16 units automatically come with 400 of the compostable bags, 2 rolls each. So that that would only require, for the first set of filling the dispensers with 3 rolls, it would require 1 additional roll. So you're talking about 16 additional rolls to make the first fill. And what I did is I added in the initial order for 1 complete replacement set of 3 bags in all 16 units. And so the total of that would be a case of each case of bags is 2,000 bags. It's 20. Let me see. It's 10 rolls. I'm sorry. 7 cases. Yeah, 7 cases of 2,000 bags. And then each case is only $63 for the compostable bags. You could get a little bit better price for the regular plastic bags, non-compostable. But for 7 cases of the compostable bags is $63. Each case is $442. So the total initial investment, including the shipping, is approximately, just under $6,500 for the total project.
That's for 1 year. And then obviously, then you have recurring costs of the trash bags.
Then you have recurring costs of the trash bags and, for every case of 10 rolls is 2,000 bags. It's roughly $62 down to $55 per 10 rolls, 2,000 bags. And in the initial order, so just to give you a bigger picture of the amount of bags, the initial order for the original first set plus one full replacement set is 20,000 bags.
Mhm.
So the bag costs, you know, a fair amount of people do bring. I regularly see people
They have their own
obviously
bags.
bringing their own bag. So it's more of a, it's a dual purpose here. It's one of convenience when they're forgetful or their dog uses more bags than they may have brought with them. But most importantly, it's educational. It's a nice way of reminding people of the code of ordinance on carrying a bag
Mhm.
and picking up after your animal.
I have one question.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it really necessary to get seems like an awful lot of bags to start with anyway. Why not just order them when you start running your own? It just seems like it's,
Good question. I was looking at the same thing, and however, because we're ordering the units, we get a heavy discount at 6%. So getting a full set of replacements, get into a total quantity of 20,000 bags, gives you that heavy 6% discount, where 7 cases of 2,000 bags would only be $442. That's gonna probably last into about, I would think about 1 to 3 years.
yeah, so it seems to me, even though there's a 6% discount, that it's just taking up storage space to have all those bags. The city has to store those trash bags. It seems like in a year or two, they could order them and pay 6% more. I mean, and it's also a little sweeter pill to have $600 less on the.
I
know
think,
it's
I
a big deal. but
think
that's-
as a dog owner of 2 dogs, and I walk them every day, at least twice a day, maybe 3 times a day. From the buildings that allow dogs, 45 Ocean I know does, and so does Toscana, certain size dogs. And then all the homeowners between the town line and Toscana probably has one of the highest concentration of animals. Might I suggest that we do a trial period and maybe put in 3 of the units and see how they work before we go and put them in places where they're not going to be any use? The fact that the bags are recyclable only works if they're put into recycling bags that go to compost. Right now, everything goes into a black plastic bag. The gentleman picks it up out of it and it goes right into the trash.
Yeah.
So there's the bags are of no difference or use.
Yeah.
Because we're not recycling them.
Good.
I'm just
Yeah.
pointing out some
That's a
issues.
good- that's a good
My
point.
concerns, because you brought up condos who have it, we are a dog-friendly condo, we have such a trash station, and I can tell you, so I appreciate all the work you did, and I think all the arguments I agree with, but having done it, our maintenance guy, I mean, we're residents, always say the trash bag is full, the bags are everywhere, kids are pulling them out and playing with it. We're not happy with our dog station, and we're just having it because we have a dog park and there's nothing there. So we have to have it. My concerns are, I know how much work it is because I'm the one sometimes on a weekend literally doing it. Gross, beyond gross. That thing to take out, oh my God, a horrendous job. To add this to the job of the staff of Highland Beach who has to take the regular trash bags. That's different. They're in this big black, that you take them out. There is dog poop in there because people throw it now in there. But the stink of this, you're all welcome to do the job at my condo. We all hate it, and we always refer it to our poor maintenance guy, who then on Monday morning gets a text message and has to do it. I'm just warning everybody, this is not a fun job to do for the person who has to do it, because it's way beyond stinky than you can ever imagine, especially in hot Florida.
You can imagine in the hot sun.
It is
When you
horrendous.
When you have the benches next to the
It-
trash
it-
container,
Yeah,
the
but I'm
smell,
just-
people don't sit there because
Don't
of,
put the,
Yes.
don't put the.
so these dog waste stations, I'm telling you, they stink. They're hard to maintain.
So people now are not sitting at the benches
because of the smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should be further apart. I mean, the benches, the cans get full. People put all sorts of stuff in those
Mhm.
cans. If they're not gonna make the recycling bin or they miss it, their garbage goes into those
Yeah,
cans. They
right.
take the top off, they put it, I mean, I live right there,
Yeah.
you know? And I think I can't, during the daytime, everybody walks their dog with a, it's at night when somebody's walking their dog and he does something in the grass and you don't want to look for it, you don't have a flashlight, it gets left. Well, if you have a little dog, everybody thinks that the little dogs have little poops and it's not a big deal. The majority of dog owners in Highland Beach are very responsible.
Yes.
They really are. I can, you know, and if I see somebody that's having a problem, I give them a bag or it's a lot of money. And I don't think it's going to cure any problem that we have.
I
sorry,
agree.
We did a lot of work on this.
My
No,
point
okay.
is, it's $6,000 is not the problem, the main investment. I mean, obviously, that has to go to the town manager, they have to discuss it. I mean, they're on their parties, they're spending a lot more money. So I would say if we had a real problem, the 6,000 is not the issue. I think the issue is the poor gentleman who actually has to do the job. And I think every member who's voting yes, I welcome them to my condo and do the Monday morning dog emptying job just once, then you know what I'm talking about. And the other thing is you need to know when the bags are empty. And it's literally like going to a bathroom and there's no toilet paper. It's just not, it's annoying. And then the person who has to do the check, the trash person from the town has to also check, are there still plenty of bags or refill the bags? I think it will complicate matters. We do not have a problem in Highland Beach. We did a study in January, we reported, so you were not here. We did a study, a lot of us were reporting. I have still my spreadsheet on the phone. Literally, I was struggling finding problems other than trash from construction and from the landscapers, and I don't like them. I have to say that here publicly. I don't like them with their leaf blowers and their trash mentality, how they leave their own trash behind, their food trash. That's a problem in this town, but not our wonderful dogs, my wonderful residents. I think they're not creating a big enough problem to trouble the town with
I
this
agree.
effort.
100%.
That's my issue, but I agree. If this was in Miami or Fort Lauderdale, absolutely, we need to do this. And I think Ken did an amazing job in finding all the arguments. In court, this would win. Absolutely. I think it's a brilliant analysis and it's really not expensive for what it does. But I'm just worried about the town. And this is with my chairperson hat on, not my Barbara walking my dog selfishly.
So.
Sure, what do you
yeah,
think, Ken?
no, as far as your concerns, your first one, as far as the staff, and it being a horrendous thing that they have to go through, for emptying the trash bags. They're doing that anyways on 14 of the 16 total stations, so nothing's gonna change there except for 2 stations if we put 2 stations in the dead zones. Everything else is equal. Regarding concern about the stations being empty because they hold 600 bags and each dispenser has 3 outlets. It's less, it's a very easy layout that it's going to be easy for anybody just to walk by. They don't even have to touch the dispenser and they're going to know if a roll is empty. So with the quantity of 600, there's hardly any maintenance effort. And it's more You know, we look at this more as, does it create a nuisance? Does it create an inconvenience, or does it add anything of value? I would think, other than the concern about the smell next to the benches, but that's happening anyways at,
Which should be addressed.
And it should.
that should be addressed in
They should move them
itself.
away from the benches.
Move it away from move
Yeah.
the trash can away from the benches, and then you
Move
could
the-
put
or-
these right next to the trash
away from the
can.
benches.
Right. As the packet noted, it's not a necessity, but it's more of a
Convenience.
amenity and an educational element, because as you had found out as well, initially, we thought there was no concern with people not picking up after themselves and not carrying bags, even though it's in the ordinance. There are people who are in the community short-term. They're visiting, they're walking their dogs, and I've seen all too many times where they're not carrying bags, they're not picking up after themselves. Now, you know, the police are not gonna obviously get involved in reprimanding somebody for that.
Mhm.
So how can we do it from a proactive standpoint? We can do it through education, which is
I
what we
mean,
try to
why
do.
why not do a test though, buy 3 units? And then we can monitor how many bags
Yeah,
are in.
yeah, and listen,
I mean, I don't,
It's a good
That's an
idea.
easy sell to the,
I
to the
like that,
city
do
and
that in the
it's a
two
good-
locations where there's nothing.
right,
Yeah,
that
right.
would be, yeah, and
busy
like I
areas
said,
where there's nothing there, it would
Right.
definitely be a.
The only risk you
Win-win.
take is that then the little container gets full with regular trash because people want to dump.
well, I
trash.
wouldn't use the ones with the container. You still need the garbage pail. Because they're not they're not compostable anyway. The
So-
bags are, but what
But you
they,
would put it a regular garbage can next to the dog waste station?
well, how about we just put
Yeah.
the waste stations near the, well, that one down there,
But the what- where there's nothing.
Nothing.
Where there's nothing.
maybe we need cans there.
Yes, that's my point, yeah.
Who, if I may ask, who, if you know, it originally installed or purchased the benches and
And determine their location.
trash cans that are there now?
Yeah, I don't know if the town has paid for that. Keep in mind, this is one thing I wanted to bring up. All those trash cans that were current there, the benches, those are in the right of way. That's FDOT owned right of way. So on your maps, I see you have a pretty big dot, but it looks like a lot of the proposed locations for these dog waste stations are in the right of way.
Definitely.
So as a proactive step, because that's their right of way, and if you have to get approval from FDOT to put anything in their right of way. So I just did a proactive email because I have contacts at FDOT and said, hey, this is just very preliminary. How are you guys feeling about dog waste stations in the right of way? They said that they are okay with it, that this is all very preliminary, of course. There's a lot of nuance,
Yeah.
but they would require a maintenance agreement between the town and FDOT, yeah, to put it, because, yeah, if it's on the right of way, yeah,
Yes.
A maintenance agreement?
yes.
That the bags will be continually refilled, that they.
Right, now the town would maintain it. We have our Public Works Department that would maintain it. And actually on page 27 of your packets, I made the Public Works Department aware of that you're having these discussions again, just make sure everyone is aware of what's going on. And they provided this page on 27 of some just sort of issues that they that you may see with the bags. Now, a lot of the points that they make, they talk about like sea turtles, and I let them know that where you're proposing these dog waste stations are obviously on the west side. But, they talk about loose and windblown bags, they've seen, even without the dog waste stations, people, for whatever reason, you sometimes see bags out on A1A. They talk about attracts predators and scavengers. Odor from waste bags can draw raccoons, birds, other predators. They also talk about on page 28, maintenance burden requires frequent servicing, overflow or poor upkeep increases litter and wildlife interaction risks. Also, I was advised by the Public Works Department, the trash cans that are currently there, those trash cans are corrosion resistant, obviously with the beach and the salt, and they have to replace those every 5 years. These are corrosion resistant. So they're replacing them every 5 years. And I showed them the detail that you have, that Mr. Schreiber provided. And it's very important that they told me, like the screws and all of that have to be, again, as corrosion resistant as possible because those things rust. And there will be out there consistently changing out those screws. All those things have to be corrosion resistant. So I don't know if that would increase the cost because those types of nails or screws may be a little bit more money.
That's actually an excellent point. If I
Yeah.
can report in our condo, this happened, and this is really not environmental, and you can't fix it. You just dump it and buy a new one for $350. Not very environmental.
No,
The one
Mhm.
you're talking about, is that a metal?
It's metal. Yeah, metal and green coated metal,
Yeah.
but it's not aluminum. It's,
they have plastic for it.
and for a condo, it's cheaper to buy one on Amazon for $300, a new one, than fixing it with your maintenance guy. And then it breaks again the next day, and then you have a resident complaint, and that's not environmental. And we're the Nature Advisory Board, so.
So these are all, it's all the recycled plastic. There's no metal
all
there other
plastic.
than
That's
the
good.
screws.
That's
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah,
excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
I know the ones you're talking about. We have one there too, and it
They're
didn't last.
Terrible.
We got a pretty decent one, and it started being a problem after 2 years. You're right. So, and that's why you can actually get those units for about $150.
Yeah, maybe it was cheaper.
These ones are, they're more than double the price because of the recycled plastic and they give extra warranty on these particular types of units. Yes, you might need to maintain the screws, but I think let me see.
The only thing with the container, it doesn't seem that the waste container is capped. It looks like an open container. Somebody's going to see that if they throw a sandwich in there, throw something else in, then there's the rodent problem, the
Oh,
bird
It does
problem.
have a lid.
It
It has
does?
it has a flipping lid.
Usually
Yeah.
they have a lid.
They have a lid.
Yeah.
Do they have a
But,
lid?
but
Okay.
it's true, a bird can open it with their beak, they do it. And then if it's full, obviously,
I
then
mean,
it's-
if we're going to make a suggestion, I think if we did 3 of them and tried it out, otherwise I don't see the value to
No, I agree.
Chair, if I may also, I did get some preliminary maintenance costs from our Public Works Department. These are just rough estimates,
Yeah.
just to include in your discussion and just to get a, more comprehensive approach, review on this. So they're quoting $500 for installation of the stations. That includes, obviously, the installation has to be to code, cement installation, et cetera.
Per station,
Yeah, per station, and then $500 to $750 per year for maintenance. This includes any type of rehabilitation that may be needed. And then they put $500 to $750 per year for bag purchase. Again, I don't know the vendors that we use. We may be getting a comparable price that Mr. Schreiber provides. Again, this is just very preliminary, just to give you some ideas. And then
$500 to install all of them, including the concrete?
per bag.
per station.
Yeah.
First, I was just
Yeah.
thinking, because otherwise
Yeah,
I'm
per
hiring them as my
station.
last
Sorry.
thing.
And it- yeah.
500 to install per
Yeah,
station?
Per
Per
station.
How
station.
much did yours have a?
You didn't have an installation, right? An
No.
installation code. That's just for the
I-
actual station itself.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be
Yeah.
anywhere near 5.
Again, this is estimate, so,
They do it in concrete?
yeah, that's what they mentioned, the cement.
Hurricane
and-
resistant.
Yeah,
No.
it's a cement and a pile. So, and those have to be per code, certain wind. They have to,
That sounds right.
live up to a certain wind strength.
For 500 a station, can I be?
I know, right?
For hire?
No, but if you have to pile it, I mean, honestly, this
You
is.
can
So
also
I
do-
may consider.
If you do the maintenance also,
For 30 years, yeah,
Yeah. Well, I could talk to the Public Works Director, given you all were like, wow, that's a lot, and, kind of finesse that if that's the case, or maybe that's his true estimate.
that's.
There was one more estimate he gave.
They're gonna put concrete down and prepare the thing? I don't know how you get it done.
No, more
There
than,
was one more estimate,
Oh,
sorry.
yes, just one more.
We gotta move on.
No, no worries. It was $50 to $100 hours, or no, I'm sorry, 50 to 100 hours per year for maintenance, not specific to rust rehabilitation, but just for cleaning up the stations and what have
50
you.
hours per year.
50 to 100 hours
But that is
per year.
1 week of work.
Per
To
station?
maintain just the dog stations, that sounds
For,
a
you just
lot.
put 50 to 100 hours per year for maintenance and cleanup of stations with an
Obviously,
S.
obviously, they're not recommending we do this.
Yes, I think conscious of time, it's 12:15. We have a lot of other items. I think Member Schreiber did an amazing job outlining all the pros and some cons. We had a discussion,
Mhm.
so we're gonna vote on this in the next meeting. But I think what would be good for the next meeting if we had the estimates by the town, what you just read to us in paper, that people see what this will cost the town. And then this would have to go to the commission and they would have to approve it.
Right. You will make a recommendation. And then whether it's Mr. Schreiberg or yourself, the chair could present it. Also, if I just may real quick, I know it's time short. I did some research. There are municipalities who put out very cute little outreach. We could put in the manager's minute. We could put it on the town website. Cute little things like this about dog poop, scoop it, bag it, put it in the trash. That's from the city of Bothell I'm not sure which state that is.
Is that to be attached to the station?
No, this is to educate. These are just outreach, just flyers. You could put them at the food truck event. And then here you have the County of San Diego. You know what to do for clean feet and a clean yard and clean water. Please be responsible with your pet waste. And here you have one, I could pass them around. This is from the city of Weston. Your dog, your poop. Did you know there are bacteria and viruses and parasites in your dog poop? Yuck. Please pick up. So I'll just pass these real quick while you're continuing your discussion.
I think that's a great idea. I would actually, we can't vote here, but could we put this as an agenda item to discuss, like, if we're not going for the dog waste stations, what would be the educational outreach? Because it's true. I mean, the dog poop, it goes into the nature, it goes into the grass, and it has all sorts of consequences for the regular cycle of nature, because it's not it's
And
not just,
I don't know anybody that composts here.
no,
I've never seen a facility to even compost.
that's, yeah,
There is no company.
And I don't know if the bags that I buy from Petco
thank you.
are compostable. I think they're just plastic bags.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a great idea if you had
Yeah,
if you really were into an environmental issue with composting, and you had people bringing their vegetable and a waste, and it really was productive, I could see it, but
yeah, the bags were about $10 difference.
between
per-
compostable.
Yeah, so I mean.
Wasn't
cer-
negligible.
Yeah, certainly the lower price would be better if that's acceptable for regular things.
It might be
there's
nice
no
to have a
bad-
sign, like one of these little signs, like with a dog, a picture of a dog or cat or whatever.
I
That's
just learned
fine.
something.
And
It's
just-
actually,
and Just have a little plastic sign so
yeah.
that people would.
I think that's a good idea, and I just learned something. It's EPA labels dog waste as actually as a source pollutant. So it's actually a pollutant just like a herbicide. So it's actually federal law. So really, it's interesting. So this is actually Weston. This is Weston here in Florida, right?
Yes.
That's very impressive. I would say if we could put this on the agenda item, and maybe you can
Include
just
those?
include those.
What the point of it is.
This is just educating people that dog waste is not just gross if you step into it, but if it's on the grass.
Doesn't everybody already do? I thought we found that people are using.
People are doing it. Yeah, I think people are doing. I personally would disagree. I mean, I've seen dog poop. That's true. But in the whole study, I've seen one or two, and I've done it once a week, and I went all the way to Lincoln and back. I've seen a lot of trash, and I have it all on my phone. I have all
There's more
documented.
throwaway bottles and cans and stupid things that get.
It's stupid things, but it's not from
Not-
the residents. It's always by construction site, and then the
Yep.
wind blows it away. It's not residents throwing
No,
Coke cans into the
absolutely not.
bush.
Are there recyclable cans on the street? Are there recyclable?
No,
containers?
No,
No.
Well, that seems to me like if we're in.
but that's a new
this
topic.
environment,
Let's not derail from the topic, but that's something you could recommend for another meeting to
I
have.
recommend it for another meeting.
You can recommend that as an agenda, item, but right now we cannot vote on it.
I can't vote either way.
Jacqueline, did you get that? What was the topic? I'm sorry, I missed the topic that you
Now we
wanted.
would have recycling containers next to the trash containers.
So having
A
recycling.
lot of things on the right of way.
Sorry?
That's a lot of things on the right of way.
Sorry?
So just
Well,
something to think about.
No, we just have a few, you know.
Well, if you want to do that, you would have to do the same research, just the same research that members Reber Ken did.
Well, first, I think we should find out if the members are in favor of doing that.
So then why don't we just have that discussion next time and then you could work on it?
Okay.
Sounds good.
If I may ask it, those numbers that you gave
Yeah.
from the,
Public Works, yeah.
Could you just email that to me, the details? I didn't get to write everything down, and I just want to
Yeah.
add that to the packet in
Yeah.
case it comes up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I ask one other question? I know in Bellito on our crossover into the beach, we have a post with buckets on it and they're trash buckets. Is that a town of Highland Beach does that? I mean, that seems to be very successful.
Yeah, this board initiated that program. The town actually constructs the bucket trees and provides the buckets. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
no, I didn't know who did.
Yeah, and if every once in a while we get a call, the bucket's missing, or we get now they've provided some of the grabbers too. Our Public Works Department will go ahead
Yeah.
and provide new buckets, but it was our Public Works Department that not only created the bucket trees, but actually installed them. Yeah,
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Is it the city of Highland Beach that takes the stuff out of the buckets? Because I
No.
see a little van going by picking up
they
the,
don't take things out of the bucket.
no, they pour it out of the, not out of the bucket, out of the can.
If there's a trash can, there are trash cans on the beach that are the town staff, Public Works does pick them up, but then there are some condos that have their own private trash cans, they pick up their own trash, yeah.
Thank you.
So. Okay. Well. Can we go on? Because I think we had a couple other things to discuss. At least I did. You know, if we're finished with this.
We have those agenda items now added.
Okay.
Today, we can't
It's on the
vote on it anyway. Anything else? Because this was your item. Ken, do you want to add anything?
No, thank you.
So that would mean we can move to the next agenda item, which is board members' updates. So I think it was on the original draft agenda, the beach rakers. I'm not sure, but I have an update on the beach rakers.
Good.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry, because I thought I saw it as a draft. Perfect. So then any other board member updates? Okay, that's good. So then we have no other board member updates. Thank you so much, which means we would come to the agenda item number 9, new business. We can't really do this because this is a workshop meeting, so we can't nominate a chairperson or a vice chairperson, but we can. Oh, we can. Very good. So I have to make an announcement here, a sad announcement from a Highland Beach perspective. With bittersweet feelings, I'm leaving Highland Beach because this town couldn't give me a house that I could afford. So
What happened?
no, I'm leaving Highland Beach because I'm moving from a condo to a house, a single family home. We did not want to be in a townhome or condo anymore, just because we found out we'd rather be in our own home where our dog can actually poop in our own yard. We don't need a dog waste station or having discussions with neighbors. So we're moving to a house, and we're moving to Delray Beach. We'll still be walking distance from the ocean and everything, nature, and I'll be very active there with nature as well. It's a bigger city, much bigger city, but I will find a role. But we will be moving as a family over the summer. So come the next school year, we will be living out of Delray Beach. And I was just unfortunately told that even knowing that I still have a condo here and I still come and swim here and use the beach and love Highland Beach and will always love Highland Beach, I'm not allowed to be on this board anymore. And I'm informing you now, even though I'm still here as a resident, that as of the new school year, September onwards, you will have to do this without me. So
It's
I
not going to
wasn't-
be easy.
oh, you're here now, Joseph, which gives me
I see how much time you put into this board. believe me, and I know how strong, how difficult boards are. And I think you've done a fantastic job.
Thank you so
Everything I've
much.
read about it, you guys have really did it for an educational board. You've done.
I think it's a team effort. Literally, we have amazing, amazing team members.
Well, I'm glad I'm
That's
on.
what this is.
Glad I'm
And
here.
this board is not difficult. You're actually joining the first board in my life that's not difficult.
Yeah.
This is a great, great, and also the town staff, everything here in this town is amazing.
And
So,
we have a
Yeah, we-
great time at, even at the, like, the mingle jingle and
Yeah, yeah.
do those events and
Yeah.
and
No, we-
the wine tasting and.
But now there will be no more wine. If you do the dog waste stations, there will be no money for wine. So now choose your battles. No, so we can basically discuss this. This is great, but we cannot nominate, right? We can only discuss it. Okay. So obviously I'm not going to be here. I would love to be the chairperson for until I'm gone, and then I can still do my homework over the summer. I will actually be in Europe, but I can still make all these calls and be working from Europe to finish, or I can step down now, whatever is the preference. I was told I can still do it until I'm actually not a resident.
Let's have you stay till the last breath.
Agree.
Yeah, I
Okay.
second that.
So then that basically means it stays the same. So with me as a chairperson and then Ken as my vice chair until the next meeting. To the next meeting. Okay, I think that sounds like a good plan.
So then the next item is your, treatment permits and steps.
Yes, so we can now go to item B, beach raking permits. So this is a topic, I'll try to keep it brief because I think this has been a topic over the last 20 years since this board is in existence. It's very frustrating, and I actually met a resident in the elevator coming here, taking my bicycle. And she said, "Oh, I'm meeting with the beach rakers." I said, "What? Do you?" "Yeah, they're not raking and they're horrible." And said, "Yeah, please talk to them. That's great that residents are reaching out." So we have to, as a town, everybody has to talk to them and be active, because here's the sad news. Ingrid Allen has kindly referred me to our wonderful David Kiekbusch of the FDP. I did email him and I did get a message, an email back, and it's not great news. Basically, in a summary, they're confirming that all the beach rakers have to do is rake the seaweed. They do not have to pick up trash. Because I couldn't believe it myself, I actually studied the license myself, but I'm reading the email that I got from Shira Ginger. She works with David Kiekbusch at the FDP. "Thank you for reaching out with your concerns regarding the mechanical beach cleaning in Highland Beach. I can certainly understand the frustration with trash left on the beach. However, the DEP permits that are issued to beach cleaners do not require that they pick up trash. Rather, the permit authorizes the mechanical beach cleaning activity to take place. It is true that in many places in Florida, beach raking occurs to deal with seaweed accumulation rather than trash pickup. I am not sure what license you are referring to in your email." I was basically referring to an license that obliges them to pick up the trash. "But if there are local ordinances that are not being followed or contractual obligations that are not being fulfilled, I have no authority to enforce either of those. What we require of the beach cleaners is expressed in their DEP permit conditions, which is attached for reference. These conditions are clearly communicated to all permittees and are included with the permit package. Please let me know if you have any further questions." So basically, and then if you read
Which
the,
page are you on?
I'm on page 42 of the document that you have. That's the letter that was sent to me, or the email. And then on page 46 onwards is the beach cleaning permit conditions for marine turtle protection, 2026 version. If you read it, I'm not going to read it to you. It's a couple of pages, but it actually only deals with raking and protecting sea turtles. So the main ratio legis, so the reason for the ordinance and the law, is actually to protect the sea turtles and not to protect residents from trash. And unfortunately, even if we took this to court, whatever, I think that we would look really badly. Unfortunately, this ordinance is pretty clear. It only asks them to remove, actually dig in the seaweed, so mix it with the sand, And also there's a lot of rules on where and when and what with the turtle nests. And that's it. And it's really, really bad news. But I think we have a very bad case against these beach rakers when it comes to the trash. I'm literally at the end of this. I don't know what to do. So I think the residents just have to complain, ask them nicely to pick it up, or call the town if it's a big item, like this item that I sent to them. This is just like an example of one day, every day, something like this, that the town can pick it up when they do their trash. But it's heavy. Usually it's very heavy.
Yeah, for big items like that, I would suggest you reach out to the Public Works Department
Right.
and they could pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But often it's interesting, like often these big, that the sea is so strong that 2 days later, they're gone. So they go back to the sea. It's not like they're there forever. Either they dig themselves into the sand, or they go back out in the water. It's just not environmental.
Does each oceanfront property pay for the raking?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
So-
if they
It's
hire
not
them.
the town then.
No, the town, all the beaches are private. So each property owner, if they so choose, has an individual contract with the beach raking company. It has nothing to do with the town. The town is not part of it. That is between the property owner and the beach raker.
Okay, now the eastern boundary of property is the high water mark.
right.
So these guys rake on the west side of the high water mark? Is that how it's done?
I don't know the specifics of the permit,
Okay.
but typically that's where you see them at. Yeah,
And then
Yeah.
the town of Highland Beach controls,
nothing.
no, nothing.
They're all private
They
beaches.
don't get
It's all
permit-
private.
They don't get permits from the city?
They get the
then?
permit from FDP.
So not from
No.
South Island Beach.
Oh,
No.
okay.
FTP is,
I'm sorry, the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. That's a copy of the permit that you'll see starting on page 46 of your packets.
Is this typical of all of the oceanfront, Delray and Boca?
Well, Delray has, public beach areas, public.
about
Believe
private?
Boca has public beach areas, so that's different. It's not all private. Town of Highland Beach is all private beach.
up until
Up until we change.
the park is open.
It's still owned by the county, though. It's owned by the county.
Okay.
The so-called Milani Park, that the part on the east side is owned by them. It's not owned by the
Oh,
town.
right.
That is the ownership.
Oh, is that right?
And a lot of homeowners have not hired those beach rakers, so that's why there's nothing.
Do they actually skip away from?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
you have to pay them. They cost a lot of money. They're $300 to $400 a month. They're expensive, yeah.
Wow.
Our condo pays more than that.
Oh, yeah, of course. If you have, if you have,
Depends
like,
on-
I'm
depends on
talking
the-
residences. If you have a condo, then it's might be 6, 7.
Yeah, on the frontage, depending on the.
Yeah, it depends on the footage,
Yeah.
the linear footage.
The seaweed is very bad for the lungs when it's fresh. And apparently, in fact, one of our residents is very upset because she can't go to the beach.
No, you cannot. I tried this morning and even my dog refused until she found a dead fish.
Yeah,
And
that's
I think tomorrow I might have to go to the vet for antibiotics. She ate the whole gross thing. Anyway, we're coming off topic here, sorry, apologies. I think with the beach raking permits, I think this is just an information, but I feel like I leave it up to you for next year, what you want to do. But unfortunately, I've done my legal analysis. I've researched it. I don't think we can do more than calling the public work department if there's something big that they need to remove. There's really just up to us with our hands, picking up the trash, putting it to the trash cans, as we've done before. So that would mean we come to the last item, discussion of proposed resolution adopting procedures for the initiation and adoption of town ordinances. This is a really, really great ordinance that the town of Highland Beach has worked on. We cannot vote on it today. We can only discuss it. I would basically recommend that we're putting this item as an agenda item to the next meeting because people will need to read this. And I really recommend, I appreciate you send a reminder that there's some new items on the agenda so that members know they should study it. It's a really, I've studied it. I think legally, from a lawyer perspective, with my lawyer hat on, I think it's a great way of actually making sure that everybody gets a chance, whether you're a citizen or a commissioner or a staff member or a board like us, you can initiate an ordinance and introduce it to the town commission. And this paper, this document this is really what you should study. This is really the process that they recommend. There's a lot of legal language, obviously, in the recommended ordinance. That's the very last one. Sorry, page 56. It's on the very, very last page. It's basically the back. If it was a book, it was on the back. Yeah. I think personally, I read it and I feel I have nothing to add. I think it's a great ordinance. Obviously, we can't vote on it today. I feel like this, for example, could be a perfect way to initiate as a resident or as a board, say the leaf blower ordinance. That I've done this in Newton, Massachusetts. I've worked on a leaf blower ordinance. Unfortunately, I won't be a resident anymore to do this work, but I've actually rewrote it and I have it and I could draft one for Highland Beach. I was at the commission twice or three times with the leaf blowers and it ended up nowhere. It's a really tough topic because we have a lot of wealthy people with big property. But that's something that I would, I won't be able to do it any longer, but I think with you on this board and with you, so David and Joseph, you could maybe work on the leaf blower topic. I think this is a horrendous problem in Highland Beach. And this
I
ordinance.
just read something in the Coastal Star about Delray doing something about the,
I hope so. I was at my new property at the pool and I had to go inside because all my neighbors were blowing.
but
And I said, I have the same problem in Delray Beach. I cannot believe it.
the article was not favorable of putting an ordinance in to regulate it. That's the, idea of it. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't think
I've
that they're
heard of
doing that.
other municipalities that have put in certain ordinances with reference to noise, not regulating a specific item, but making a noise rate. But to do that, you also have to set standards. You need decibel, you need
Yes.
machines to measure decibel. You need people trained to use the machine,
Yes.
the piece of equipment.
So in the north, it's
all
all,
over California. It's not.
yeah, it's basically, it's a noise and it's an emission issue. I mean, literally it's horrendous. Like if you blow like 20 minutes, it's like driving from here to Seattle. It's pollution is horrendous. And these poor people kill themselves. The people who actually do the work who are paid $12 an hour, they're killing themselves with this job. And everybody breathing it, the noise, the emissions, it's horrendous. It should not be allowed. And there's solutions. There's electric blowers. And so this is something I'm coming off topic here, but I like this ordinance because it would give us, everybody, the power to initiate an ordinance.
Is for staff to introduce based on citizen concerns.
Yes.
not for
Yeah.
citizens just to come up and.
Oh, no, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you-
we can, yes.
I was gonna reintroduce the dogway stations as a citizen.
So we have to make a recommendation to.
Right, so this is how it would work for the dog stations. If you make a recommendation, again, whether it's Mr. Schreiberg or the chair would go before the commission as a discussion item. It wouldn't even be, per se an intro, but possibly could. I would have to talk to town manager how we'd want to proceed. And then if the commission is good with it, then maybe they would then ask staff to provide a draft, or maybe they'd want to have some other advisory board take a look at it. Let me give you an example, because I process a lot of ordinances in the town. And let me say I'm part of the building department, I'm the planning office. I've utilized this ordinance process flow chart since I've started. This is over 6 years. I have 2 ordinances in the pipe right now. One of them is about signage. So we had a condo that came before the commission. They want to have a larger sign than what our code allows. They went before the commission, made a public comment. The town commission said, okay, we want to put it officially on our agenda for discussion. They discussed it. they didn't give direction for staff to initially provide an ordinance. They wanted it to go to the planning board for just a recommendation. Planning board provided their recommendation, went back to the commission as a true intro meeting, and then they went ahead and gave direction to staff to provide a draft ordinance. Now it's going to the planning board in May. So that's typically how it, but we've been, again, the planning office has been utilizing this flow chart for many years now. It's just now it needs to be adopted via a resolution. So it's, on the books.
I've been watching that one on the signage and that does flow. It's been flowing very well. Yeah.
How long
Yeah.
does it take to go from the recommendation to the
Well,
Well,
it really
about
depends. Again,
100 years? or-
no. Well, we do have some ordinances here in the town that have taken 3 years. The accessory marine facility took about 3 years. We had a right-of-way ordinance that took maybe 2 years, if I remember correctly. So some things can move quicker, just depends on the topic.
Are there
Okay.
any topics that go like in 6 months or less, or?
And an ordinance, I haven't necessarily seen that in 6 months. Because again, it goes to a lot of the commission will have the planning board look at it preliminarily before it goes before them as an actual ordinance. So that's a meeting in and of itself. Then it goes back to the commission, and then it'll come back to the planning board for an actual recommendation. So that takes, and the planning board only meets once a month. So it's not like they're meeting multiple times a month. So I don't recall ever having an ordinance adopted within 6 months. Don't hold me to
6
it, but I
months to
don't
one-
recall.
6 months to 1 year?
Could be. I mean, could be.
But now
Again,
we're
it
already
depends on topic.
diving into the topic. So this agenda item will be referred to Mrs. Allen in the next meeting. I just wanted to give you my quick overview that I really support this because I'm not going to be here for the next meeting. And yeah, but this will be completely deferred to the next meeting. Then it will be referred to Town Planner Allen to lead this.
Can I ask another question? Do you have an organizational meeting once a year?
That will be in the next meeting.
The next?
Yes, because it would have been today, but we cannot do it because this is a workshop meeting.
Okay.
But we would have done it today, but unfortunately we didn't have the quorum when we started. So then we can actually move to announcements. The special magistrate hearing is on June 9 at 1 p.m. And on June 11, we have the planning board meeting at 9:30. And then we can adjourn this meeting at 12:41. Thank you so much.
Thank you.